everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is April and I make sewing and DIY fashion videos every week, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell so you never miss out on a new video. So a few years ago, I won this BMO plushie from the fair, and I honestly don't know what to do with my plushies anymore, so I thought I would recycle BMO into a backpack that will be way more useful to me. I also made this fin hat right here for my fiance Eric over 7 years ago, and I believe it was a threadbanger tutorial that I followed. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and let's get started. First things first, we have to take apart all the pieces and remove the stuffing, but leave the legs and arms intact. Now that all the pieces are laying flat, I use them as a pattern to cut out the lining. I'm using a cute ironing board and laundry basket fabric, and just simply lay the BMO pieces on top and cut 2 of each of these pieces. On one of the body pieces, I sewed a square pocket to hold small items. Since there's no more stuffing inside, I decided to cover BMO in some clear vinyl so it can hold up on its own. Cut out all the same pieces from the vinyl. If I didn't use vinyl, I would use some very stiff interfacing. But this way, the vinyl also protects the fabric. For the pieces with legs and arms, I lay the vinyl on the wrong side and use a pen to mark where the legs and arms are placed. Then I cut a slit opening to squeeze the legs through, and for the arms I cut out a circle big enough to slide the arms through. Now that each piece has a vinyl layer on top, base stitch them together to hold them in place. Vinyl can be very challenging to work with because it sticks to your presser foot and might not feed your fabric through your machine evenly. I switched my sewing needle to a 90-14 to sew through thicker materials, and at first I left my regular presser foot on, but the fabric kept moving because of the vinyl, so after I used tissue paper to help glide it through smoother, which worked as well, but ultimately switching to a walking foot solved all my problems. Before constructing the backpack, I'm going to create the straps using a pair of jeans I thrifted. Cut one pant leg off and cut strips on fold that are 2 inches wide. I went ahead and added seam allowance, but ended up making my strap smaller, so 2 inches without seam allowance should be fine. I wanted my bag to have legit adjustable straps, and since my thrift stores are closed, I went on the Facebook Marketplace and bought someone's old backpack for $3 so I can use the accessories. Lucky for me, the color of the adjustable straps matched perfectly, and I definitely wouldn't have been able to find a color like this at my local store, which is why I love recycling things. I was even thinking about using the pink straps instead of making new ones, but I preferred the denim color over pink, plus the pink straps were way too small on me. After removing the turquoise straps, I used the pink straps to trace the bottom shape of it onto the denim straps. Make sure to add seam allowance. Next, line the inside of your straps with some batting to make it more comfortable to wear. Place the batting on the wrong side of the fabric, then fold the strap in half and sew the sides. My straps were cut on fold, but I ended up just sewing both sides of the strap anyways. Then I sewed the tapered section at the bottom. When it was time to turn it inside out, I realized it was impossible because of the batting, so I seam ripped one side back open and just ended up folding the raw edges under and top stitching the open side closed. And voila! I have padded straps. Now I can fold the bottom of the denim straps underneath so the raw edges are hidden, and then slide the adjustable straps inside. I first sewed the entire straps down the middle to flatten the batting, and then I sewed the bottom like a square with an X in the middle. Time to construct the backpack. First, sew all the body pieces together so that it creates a circle. At first, I thought it should be constructed like clothes by sewing the entire lining together and the entire outside layer together and then attaching them at the end. But after inspecting some backpacks at home, the lining is already attached to each piece, leaving the raw edges inside the backpack. Then the raw edges are just covered with bias tape so they aren't exposed inside. So that's what I'm attempting to do. I don't know why I thought I couldn't sew both layers as a circle first, so I left the top open and went ahead and sewed the lining layer to the vinyl layer. But later I realized I could just sew all the layers together to create a circle, and that way there won't be any raw edges. And here I am trying to reattach the last pieces to each layer to complete the circle. Alright, so now that there are no more raw edges and we have base stitched the two backpack layers together so they act as one, we can now sew the front body piece with Bimo's face right sides together to the backpack. But mainly we're only going to be sewing along the bottom, leaving the rest open for the zipper. The zipper was the trickiest part to figure out because of the shape, and the vinyl doesn't make it any easier to sew. I first made sure the zipper fit around the bag up to where I sewed, and with the zipper unzipped, I sewed one side right side together to the front of the backpack. It actually wasn't that bad to sew this first piece. You just have to go slow and pivot at the corners. However, sewing the other side of the zipper to the side piece of the backpack didn't work out for some reason. I don't know why the other side of the zipper didn't line up with the amount of fabric I had. It needed just a ½ inch more fabric, so I had to undo the top again and added tiny strips of denim fabric to extend it just enough to fit the zipper. There was a lot of seam ripping, cutting new pieces out, and re-sewing things together, but now the zipper fits perfectly, so all is well. Next, I'm going to hide the raw edges by sandwiching them in between some bias tape I made. Sewing the bias tape around the corners of the backpack was the second hardest thing. I feel like you need the right sewing accessories to sew it nicely because mine kept moving out of place, and it's so hard to control your stitching because there's so many thick layers. I'm super beginner at making bags or making projects like this, so if you have any tips, please share them down in the comments. Once the raw edges are covered along the bottom of the backpack, we can now attach the straps and the back side of the backpack. First, sew the straps in place so they don't move around. Then tuck the straps inside the backpack and face the back side of the backpack right sides together to the side pieces and sew the entire thing together. And lastly, cover up the raw edges with some bias tape. Definitely feel like I'm doing it wrong because my sewing looks so bad, but it's finally finished! Just turn the bag right sides out, pop out all the corners, and practice zipping it open and close because the square shape makes it kinda difficult. Here's what the backpack looks like on. The struggle was so worth it because it turned out super cute. I love the recycled adjustable straps because it makes it look legit, and I love unzipping the bag and seeing the adorable print fabric I chose for the lining. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this BMO upcycled backpack tutorial. As usual, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more DIY fashion and sewing videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye!